Hey friends, welcome to our channel and welcome if you're new. I'm Angie, and if you saw last week's video, you know that I'm in the middle of a laundry room makeover. However, my whole family, me included, are a little bit under the weather, so very little got done in the laundry room this week. So, I'm switching gears just a little bit this week, and I am sharing 7 things that I look for while thrifting for the spring season. It should be a fun video full of tips and tricks and inspiration for your own space, and I just had fun putting this video together for y'all, so I really hope you enjoy it. Hopefully next week's video will be all about the laundry room. I am really praying that we all feel better and that we can get back into that laundry room and make that space beautiful. But as for right now, enjoy this video and leave me a comment and let me know if there's anything that you looked for when you're thrifting for the spring season. It's always fun to hear y'all's ideas, and it gives me some ideas and some inspiration also. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. Flower pots and garden items are always on my list when I am thrifting, but they seem to be more plentiful during the spring season. I recently found this flower pot for $13. It retails for about $65, so be on the lookout for this pot in my garden this year, overflowing with beautiful flowers. I also keep my eye out for urns that I fill with faux florals or a potted plant around our home. And I recently found this garden statue, this little boy, that I thought was so cute, so he will also be in my garden, so be sure to keep an eye out for him in future videos. I thrifted this flower pot several years ago for about $6. It is a zinc material, and I love to change it out with beautiful flowers every season. And this was at our last house, and I filled it full of geraniums and sweet potato vine. And then I filled it another season with petunias and creeping Jenny and this little birdhouse that I DIY'd. But I just enjoy this flower pot so much, and I'm always on the hunt for more flower pots to add to our garden. I absolutely love adding terracotta pots to my garden, so I'm putting them in a category all to themselves because they are so beautiful. I like when I can find them really worn and weathered, and in my experience, I've noticed that the more worn they are, the less expensive they are. So you'll have to let me know if that has been your experience when thrifting terracotta pots. I love to fill my pots with ivy or little small ferns or pothos and display them around our garden or in our home. And I also like to display terracotta pots on our mug rack on our screen porch area. I just think that it adds a welcoming touch to a home and just adds so much charm and color to a space. I also keep an eye out for interesting terracotta pots that I can just add to our home. And I found this one recently. I thought it was a beautiful design. And so I like to go to Hobby Lobby. This is my favorite faux greenery to add around for the spring season. And it's very inexpensive and it really fills up a vase. And I just added it to this terracotta. I love the green fern look with terracotta, especially during the spring season. And I think that it just adds a beautiful touch to a table or any space that you add the terracotta and the green fern. And another tip that I can give you for your garden is to add moss around your flowers and to cover up the dirt. It just makes it look a little bit more finished, and it adds a beautiful touch to your indoor plants. Y'all know how much I love baskets, so y'all knew that this was going to make the list. I love to thrift baskets, and I especially love to thrift them during the spring season because I like to use them as Easter baskets. There are so many different colors and shapes of baskets, and they are so fun to give to your children as Easter baskets and just fill them full of fun little items that they can use for the spring season. Baskets are also fun to add your favorite potted plant to, or just add several small plants in the basket and cover some of your plants with moss and add a bow, and you have a beautiful gift to give to either a family member or a neighbor, and it will just brighten their day. And the baskets are so inexpensive that you can collect several of them and just make an inexpensive gift for someone in your life that you love and you just want to give them a pick-me-up for the spring season. This is a basket that I thrifted a couple years ago. I loved the texture, the shape, the handles on this basket, but I did not like the color because it did not really go with my house. I have a lot of dark wood, and so what I did was I just added some dark wax to it and added an asparagus fern, and I think that it makes it look more high end and it matches my house so much better. So keep that in mind when you are thrifting for baskets. You can always change the color if you don't like that. So staying with the upcycling theme and talking about baskets, I thrifted this basket. I loved the shape and the texture, but I did not like the color. But I went ahead and bought it, brought it home, and gave it a coat of paint. And it changes the look of the basket. And I just love how it looks. I filled it with some of my favorite dried hydrangeas, and I just keep the dried hydrangeas in it for every season because I love the look of it. And I have a whole video showing you the process, all the products I used to get this look, so I will link that below for you in case you are interested in checking out that video. These are some baskets that I made up for our girls a few Easters ago. I just added these cute tags from Etsy, and these made the cutest Easter baskets. Another thing that I'm always on the hunt for during the spring season is fabric. And I think on this particular day, someone must have donated their entire sewing room because there was so much fabric at the thrift store. But fabric is so fun to find at the thrift store because number one, it's inexpensive, and number two, there are so many uses for fabric. I like to use fabric to line my Easter baskets and give it that unexpected pop of color. You could also use the fabric to make throw pillows, table runners, you could make aprons out of it, and you could also use it for napkins for your Easter and spring tablescape. So always be on the lookout for fabric, and always remember the bed linen section. You can find a lot of fabric in a flat sheet for just a little bit of money that you can turn into so many different things for your home decor. I am always on the hunt for rabbits at the thrift store. I love to decorate with little rabbits and just add them to our home during the spring season. But I don't think that rabbits are just for the spring season. I think that you can add them anywhere in your home for every season. I think that it just matters the color of the bunny, which brings me to my next point. If you like what he looks like, you can always change the color. This little bunny I found at the thrift store several years ago, and I have a whole video showing you what he looked like before and my technique for changing him up. But he is one of my favorite spring items that I bring out every year. He ends up in a different location in our home, but he just makes me smile when I see him because I knew what he looked like at the thrift store, and this technique just basically brought him to life. So be on the lookout for him in our spring decor this year, and he will definitely be in our spring decorating because he is one of my favorite little decor items. I like to change out some of my art around our home for the season, and so I'm always checking the art section in the thrift store to see if I can find beautiful art for that season. There's so much to choose from, and you can find it for a really good price. And keep in mind, if you don't like the art piece that's inside the frame, you can always just change that out. So I'm always looking for interesting frames also, and just keeping an open mind to what I see in the thrift store, because I know that I can change it up if it's not quite my taste. So just be on the lookout for beautiful art that you can add for the spring season throughout your home, or the beautiful frames that it comes in. I collect these cross stitch pieces, and I love to add a collection of them around our home. This was my early thrifting days, and just to give you a tip about thrifting, I found this and I thought, well, I don't know if I want it or not, so I put it back on the shelf and thought I can come back if I decide to get it. Well, you know the rest of the story. I went back and someone had already got it and bought it. So, my tip to you today is, if you're at the thrift store and you see something that you like, go ahead and put it in your buggy. And if you change your mind, you can take it back out of your buggy. But if you leave it on the shelf, someone is most likely going to come by and buy the item, and it's going to be gone. So, I have learned so much with thrifting, and I'm just sharing those tips with you so you don't make the same mistakes I do. So if you see something, go ahead and put it in your buggy. You can change your mind later if you decide to, but you won't miss out on the good stuff because you added it to your buggy. I think that this is such a beautiful print, and at the time I didn't have a place to hang it, but now I can think of so many different places I could put it in our home. But you win some, you lose some, and it's just the thrill of the hunt for me to keep going and finding beautiful art that I can add to our home. I also like to look for beautiful picture frames. And again, I'm just going to remind you that you can change the color of the frames, and just they can look so beautiful in your home for a fraction of the cost of brand new frames. So I'm looking for more frames to add family pictures to. I just like the big chunky type frames that I can change the color. This is an example of a frame that I found that I like the look of it, but I didn't like the color. And so I painted it a navy blue, and it just changed the whole look of the frame. I added a picture of Annabelle and just put it on our side table, and I think that it's absolutely beautiful. Serveware, vases, and pictures are so plentiful at the thrift store, and you could make a whole tablescape with thrifted dishes and beautiful serveware for your Easter table. I'm always on the hunt for beautiful pieces. These can be so expensive new, and you can find so many beautiful items at the thrift store. Glass pitchers are so pretty with just water and some lemons cut up inside of it added to your table. There's so many beautiful cake plates that you can add some sweet treats or a cake to and add to your table. And I loved this asparagus canister. I think that it would be so beautiful in a kitchen, just added to a display. And then I like to pick up different pictures that are blue and white, or just either a plain white, and add beautiful spring florals too. These are so pretty added to your table in the middle, just to add a beautiful spring floral too. And you can either add real or faux, and it just adds a welcoming, beautiful cottage look to your home. This thrifted vase I added full of my favorite faux tulips, and I just love the simplicity of this with the white and the green. And then I do pick up simple vases just to add little cuts of flowers from my garden. And make sure that you have stocked up on the beautiful vases from the thrift store so that we can add our beautiful hydrangeas when they start blooming in the summer. I hope y'all enjoyed that video. I had so much fun putting it together and just finding different pictures for that particular item that was thrifted. Now, I don't buy everything that I find in the thrift store. Most of the time I see it, take a video of it, and then I get home and I think, oh, I should have got that because I could do this with it or this with it. And then you go back and it's gone. But we can't get everything that we see. And it's just fun to look at those items and think of a way that you can use them just to give them new life. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, if you have any other ideas or things that you look for the spring season, please leave me a comment below. I love to read all of your comments. If you like this type of content, please give me a thumbs up. It helps out our channel so much. And if you want to share it with someone that you think would like this type of video, that also helps our channel. Thank y'all so much for watching, and you can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and our blog, Our Contented Home, and I look forward to seeing all of y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.